Blazarian in his house. He had us put our phones in another room and then asked me how difficult it would be to assassinate Israeli government ministers. And then he invited me to Dubai and Qatar, which I declined. On his way there, he was ambushed by the FBI. I don't know who the fuck this person actually is. I don't think anybody does. Initially, I thought he was just a retard, but he's accusing me of being a federal agent when him and his father are under FBI investigation, and he frequently talks about stirring up violence. Sus. Now you're just making shit up. He said to vote for Laura Loomer. Did you or did you not get ambushed by the FBI on the tarmac when you fled to Corsica, Dubai, and Qatar to discuss citizenship with government ministers in late 2024? Here we go, another lie. They gave me a subpoena when I was refueling my plane to testify against my dad, which I pled the fifth. I wasn't fleeing anywhere. I went to Corsica because your dad's also a scammer, right? This is another one. I went to Freedive and I was met with no government ministers. Nice try, Fed. Interesting timing for a spontaneous trip to discuss golden citizenship with the Emiratis and the Qataris. A pit stop in Europe for scuba diving, just as your daddy was being triple citizen. There is no golden citizenship. This isn't, it's a golden visa, retard. Free diving isn't scuba, and my name isn't on the shell court. You're really scrambling with these lies. There is another, this is, I think, very funny, another right-wing civil war going on. Dan Blazarian is now fighting against Nick Fuentes again. And so I thought it was going to be over. They're accusing each other of being feds. It's, in my opinion, I think it's really funny. I think it's hilarious that this is going on. Let me see if I can show you guys a few of this. And by the way, I've said for a while.
Hey, welcome in, guys. God bless.
Is a total.
Come in here, hang out with me. Listen to the legendary Asmongold. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me too. I love you guys.
I mean, honestly, the only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is fucking, you know.
Hey, come on, let's go. I mean, if I can get some of you to subscribe, I'll open up that tin. Oh, fuck, my cigarette. Fell right on me. Sorry about that. Hey, get in here, guys. Subscribe. Hit that like.
On the fucking
journey together. Come on.
Wherever. Give me a
fucking nothing. Hit that like. Come on, get in here, guys. Join my cult.
I truly believe that the majority.
Just joking. It's not a cult.
Country,
but I will love you guys forever.
And they're perpetuating a genocide.
And keep in mind the way that he's saying this. He's not saying it about, for example, the IDF or Benjamin Netanyahu or the Israeli
That's
government.
Wild.
He's saying the Israeli people.
Not okay.
They're all in on this. They all are collectively guilty.
Not okay.
Apartheid. They're suppressing the Palestinians. They're attacking their neighbors. They're operating like terrorists.
Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it.
Ungrateful bastards, and they need to be wiped off the fucking map.
I'd love to get your opinions.
We do not advocate for violence. We do not support violence. Sympathize with violence.
Ah, you fucking
fed. I draw a line with the left, because it is true that a lot of these left-wing people, they actually do sympathize with these types of tactics. I saw, for example, one of these Palestinian kids. He's like a left-wing Palestinian guy. He went on Piers Morgan, and they were talking about the shooting in D.C., where some Muslims shot Jews leaving the embassy.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
that. And this Palestinian kid could not disavow the violence. He said, well, they're freedom fighters. And they say the same about Hamas. And I would say that I understand the political plight of the Palestinians, but as a Christian, I cannot condone.
Welcome in, guys. Hope you guys are having a great night. God bless you guys. Wishing nothing but health and happiness to you and your families. If you guys subscribe, I'll open this shit up.
Asymmetrical tactics, especially.
This right here is Western culture. This right here is something else.
Especially against civilians. I think it's evil and it's wicked, and I have to condemn it.
Exactly. And so it's really sad. It is. It's extremely sad. So I spent this base. Yeah, exactly. And so
you guys hang around long enough, I'll open it anyways. It doesn't matter. Hit that like, guys. Welcome in. God bless you guys. Hope you guys are having a great night. I wish nothing but health and happiness for all you guys.
So this is
to you and your families. Love you guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy. And there's more of this too, obviously. And let me go back. I'll pull up the rest of the other comments about this. But yeah. So the first time I met Dan Blazarian in his house, he had us put our phones in another room and then asked me how difficult it would be to assassinate Israeli government ministers. And then he invited me to Dubai,
Bro, what the
Qatar,
fuck?
which I declined. On his way there, he was ambushed by the FBI. I don't know
That's
who the
insane.
fuck this person actually is. I don't think anybody does. Initially, I
That's
thought he was
insane.
just a retard.
Hey, welcome in,
but
guys.
he's
God bless.
accusing
Hope you guys are having a
me
great
of being
night.
federal
Oh, shit.
agent when him
Come on, get in
and
here,
his
guys.
father are under FBI
got packed
investigation,
right now.
and he frequently
If y'all
talks
subscribe,
about
I'll open up
stirring
that channel. I got
violence.
Destin Rivals right now. Let's see if I can get a hit real quick. Come on, guys. Wish me luck.
Said to vote for Laura
Yeah.
Weaver. Did you or did you not get ambushed by
27
the
people in
FBI
here. Get in here, guys.
when you fled to Corsica, Dubai,
I love you
and
forever.
Qatar
If you
to
subscribe,
discuss
get in here.
citizenship with government ministers
Come
in late
on, Peach.
2024.
Oh,
Here we go. Another lie.
Here we
They gave
go.
me a
Something.
subpoena when I was refusing
let's
my plea
go,
to
baby.
testify
It's not necessary,
against
but I'll
my
fucking
dad,
take it. It's probably,
which I pled the fifth.
probably like $3. I
wasn't
think I got one of
fleeing
these
anywhere. I went to Corsica to because your dad's also a scammer, right? This is another one. I went to Free Dive and I
Hell
was
yeah,
met
welcome
with
in,
no
guys.
government ministers.
Hope you guys are
Nice
having a great
try,
night. Thanks
Ben.
for the thumbs up. Love you.
Interesting timing for a spontaneous
what's going on my
trip
phone?
to discuss golden citizenship
What's
with
going
the
on there?
Emiratis
Sorry,
and the
I
Qataris,
apologize.
with a pit stop in Europe for scuba diving, just as your daddy was being indicted by the DOJ for concealing money in the shell court with your name on it, triple citizen. There is no golden citizenship. It's a golden visa, retard. Free diving isn't scuba, and my name is on the shell court. You're really scrambling with these lies. And they're going back and forth about this in general. Oh my God. And not gonna lie, Dan is sus as fuck. What did I tell you guys?
Bro, Nick is a Fed.
What did I tell you guys?
Bro, Nick is a Fed.
I tried to say this. Yeah, I tried to say this.
What did you try to say,
tried
Asmon?
to
You're
get into it.
this man, Asmon.
And,
Tell
okay,
us.
what's this here? I was the CEO. I'm not the CEO now. So you went from you're just making shit up to I wasn't fleeing. It was all a huge coincidence, and I didn't get ambushed. I was subpoenaed, and I was in the UAE for a golden visa, but I didn't get it, and I wasn't on the shell court, but I was CEO at the time. Oh man, triple citizen. Oh my God. So anyway, this is it. I mean, like, who goes around talking about assassinating Israeli officials? And what is the? Let's hear the.
Who the fuck does that shit? What the fuck
Let
is
me
saying?
go back and pull this up. Sorry, it's like it's.
Homer,
laggy.
hold this shit, cousin.
I've never really been a person that
I
took
need you for
pride in
moral
like
support, cousin.
ethnicity.
Get in here, guys.
religion, Or where I was
What up,
born
Shay
and
Martin?
Stuff. I feel like that's kind of.
What up, Marty Marr? Get in here,
No,
Marty
it's
Marr.
just-
Subscribe.
to me,
I'll always
kind of
love you.
You know, like you should take pride in like things that you've done or you know whatever,
Uh-huh.
because that says a lot about you. You know, and so I don't know this whole like rah you know America.
I've never really been a
shit.
person
Like,
that
I
took pride in
like
like
I think it's good to have some
ethnicity.
national pride, but
Hello,
to
right
what
back to
end,
ya.
You know.
So you have somebody who doesn't even understand being proud of your own
Shay
country. Court
Martin.
documents
Marty
claim Dan
Marr.
Blazarian was
What
part
up,
of an
Marty
alleged
Marr?
extortion attempt in St. Kitts by his father, where it is alleged that Blazarian's father alluded to the possibility of the junior Blazarian carrying out the murder for his father.
What
the
the
junior
fuck?
holds citizenship in these two places, St. Kitts and Nevis. Court documents allege that financial felon Paul Blazarian, that's his dad, extorted and assaulted Kevin Horsewood over business assets while conspiring to murder a witness to the adult, allowing Blazarian to make off with the assets in a summary judgment. So it's just like, I mean, these guys, they're bandits, bro. They're bandits. Like, I don't know what this is. And also, look at this here. Finally
Weird ass
vindicated.
shit. What the fuck?
Asmongold was right. This is what I said.
Asmongold was right.
You have these types like Dan Bilzerian, who I like and respect, but he says that left and right is an artificial divide. It's a construct to keep.
Dan Blazarian is a scammer. I think he made up his entire, this whole fucking
Online presence, poker
mindset
thing.
of, oh, I
Yep.
was this rich poker player, and I have this
Oh, yeah.
entire,
I'm so
identity.
right.
This is I'm a rich guy. I don't think that's what happened. I think his dad was a scammer. His dad went to jail for being a scammer, and I think he is too. I do. And a retard? Yeah. And the thing is that
And a
it's
retard?
important to keep in mind that even though Dan and I agree on a lot of things, he is a bad actor. He is. He's a bad actor, and he's an opportunist. And you shouldn't look at somebody like that as an ally. They're only your ally to the extent that they can grift off of you. They don't care about you. They just care about where they're trying to go. And it isn't where you want to be. So, I want you guys to see this. Let me see if I can pull up anybody else talking about this.
Show us, Asmon.
Yeah, so Dan was a scammer. Don't you think the Jews he criticized? So everybody, all of these people were mad at me. And I had to eat shit because all these people were mad. And you're an undercover Jew, so the last paragraph applies to you. Fucking ghoul with soulless eyes. Extremely rare.
Wow.
Asmongold L. Blazarian's all right. He's been cleared. Y'all are so... Y'all are the goyim, bro. Like, you are actually the goy. How do you get hoodwinked by this? How do you get
Hoodwinked,
fooled?
bamboozled.
I told you, man. I tried to say it. It was so obvious. Like, what do you mean? The guy built his entire career off of bullshit. Like, what are we doing? We're really thinking about this in a serious way? Oh my God. And so anyway, clear by who? Yeah, I don't know. It was so fucking clear, so fucking obvious, and I am so glad that now everybody is seeing it. Everybody's seeing it. People are realizing it. And this is another one, right?
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Boy the Crusader. It's the Jews. I've been saying this for 10 years.
Dude, it's actually crazy. Every time, dude, and that's all these girls do is talk on the phone. Honestly, 99% of these crash outs are because I don't pick up the phone. Like, Dan was flaming me because I, didn't text him back. And I was like, bro, I literally missed, 3 texts. And he's like, it was 4! It was 4 texts! I was like, whoa, not that anyone's counting, right? And he's like, you never called me back. I'm like, dude, you're like a girl. All you fucking people do is talk on the phone, kicking your feet. I don't have time for that.
Starting drama.
Well, it's not even I have all the time in the world. I just don't want to talk to you.
I cannot express how much I relate to this. It's not that I don't have time. It's that I just don't want to talk to you.
Huh.
There it is.
Dude, he would call me up for hours and just give me the speech, just give me the monologue about the Jews. I'm like, dude,
where do you think you got it from?
I know. We're arguing about Charlie Kirk and stuff. I'm like, dude, watch the show. I don't know what to tell you. Not for nothing, but so many
Bro, you're
people
supposed to be
crash
working
out on them
together.
I just won't even go one step out of my way to demonstrate that I have any patience for what they have to say. And then they just start to hate me. That's really
They're both fighting for the same fucking thing, and they're fighting with
but it's
each
so
other. It's
hard
fucking
for me.
insane.
As his people just
Ian Carroll's covered this. I think that overall, there has been a huge amount. I think this is what's happened. Victory has defeated the alt-right. Basically, that's what's happened. Is that all of these people have had such a resounding, massive cultural victory.
Hey, God bless you guys. Whoever's in here, I love you. Hey, thanks for the hearts. I fucking love that. Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta take a leak.
The
I'll be back.
woke ideology is deleted. All of this stuff, DEI is getting removed. You're able to say whatever you want on social media again. And they've made so much progress, and they've accomplished so much, that now they're like, well, what the fuck do we do now? What do we do now? Well, now they start fighting with each other. I'm thinking to myself, guys, there's other problems. There's other issues. There's other things. You get you ever think about the fucking massive H-1B visas? What about that? Think about that instead of this. I think it's right-wing grifters turning on each other. I don't think that Nick is a grifter, right? I mean, I don't think Nick is a grifter at all. But No content for them. Yes, exactly. Purity test over and over. And I think that you guys are going into the same purity test spiral that left-wing people do, where it's like arguing about whether Islamists who hate trans people should be taken seriously,
What I
or
missed?
trans people
Nothing,
should be able to be
alright.
trans, and Islamists, can't do their religious stuff. Like this, like weird, victim.
Hey, thanks. I love
shit
you.
that they
Where the
do.
fuck that is?
And now y'all are doing
I
the
absolutely
same
adore
thing.
you. Thank you so much.
And it's not really. The thing is that Nick has said this all the time, right? He said this the whole time. And I do think
Yo,
it's
thank
true
you. I
whenever
appreciate
people
that.
start talking. I think it's Dan who's the grifter. Well, I
You ain't got to
wonder
do all
who
that
the
to
grifter
subscribe.
is.
I'll be happy if
I
you do
wonder
that.
if it's the person who, ever since they were 18, went to multiple rallies, was deplatformed, kicked out of college, and then taken off of every mainstream media publication, demonized universally, and then deplatformed constantly.
Thank you so much.
To
I
where he was
appreciate that, Lars.
relegated to like the very edges of the internet. Or the guy who was the most followed male on Instagram, who fell off massively.
Hey, 15
after
people in
that
here. Get in here,
popularity
guys.
was
God bless
determined
everybody
to
in
be
here. I
kind
hope
of
you guys, I wish you guys nothing but health and happiness.
some
Hope
of
you guys
the,
are having a great night.
parts
Rock
of
and
the
roll. Let's
story that
go.
was inaccurate. Like
Hey,
Dan
Marty Moore, that's
Bilzerian
what's
has,
up.
like, multiple,
I love you,
let me
Marty
just
Moore.
look this up.
You're
Like,
the
I'm
best.
gonna look this up so you guys can see it. And not that this is like a guaranteed.
Join
that
my
this is
cult,
accurate,
guys.
But just as an idea of
I'm a
what
good
to
cult leader, I
expect, just want
promise.
you guys
I'm
to
just
see this.
joking.
Dan
That's a fucking joke.
Bilzerian.
I'm completely joking.
What is this? God damn it. Sorry about that.
Thanks for the love, guys. Appreciate it.
Dan Bilzerian
It's probably you, Marty Moore. I love it. Thank you.
was off on Randy Font. Let me look this up. Fraud. 5 years ago, there was a video about Dan being a fraud with 9 million views. 1 year ago, 9
Thank you
months
so
ago,
much.
5 months ago, 5 years ago, Dan Bilzerian.
Hey, you making me
completed
blush out
SEAL
here. What the hell's
training
going on
twice.
here? Thank
Of
you.
course he did. And it's 4 months ago, 5 years ago again. So this guy
9 people in here. Hey, hope you guys are having a great night. Welcome in. Hang out with me.
This was 2 years ago.
I'm catching up with some
this is
YouTube.
what
I've been
I
working
think that
hard
he
lately.
did. I think that Dan Bilzerian, and again, like, I could be wrong about this, but I don't think that I am. I think that Dan Bilzerian saw that his popularity, being this, well-known, playboy, cool guy.
Hey, Martin, is that you?
This kind of is waning. People are not paying attention to this anymore. Nobody cares anymore. So what he did instead of that is he.
I appreciate
invented
the
this
love,
new
bro. I love you
persona
so much,
where
dude. Thank you
he's
so
this
much.
Super America first. Big person. He's grifting into the Palestinian thing, I think, massively. And I don't think that it's authentic. I don't think so. I think that somebody who is a career scammer hasn't just grown a heart and a conscience for Palestinians whenever you're talking about mercilessly mowing down Israelis that
too
have nothing
much.
to do with their government, right? By the way, not everybody
Talk
in
to
Israel
me.
even supports Benjamin Netanyahu.
I'll talk back.
Not everybody in Israel even supports what's happening in Gaza. So I don't even know where this collective guilt from Israelis comes from. It's just simply not true. It's just the same way that people in Gaza don't all support Hamas. People in Yemen don't all support the Houthis. People in Iran don't all support their government. People in Russia don't support their government, all of them. People in America don't support all of their government. So there's plenty of people, like there's people in Saudi Arabia that are like, well, I don't agree with the way that they do things here. And that's just the way it is. So
Yep.
are you starting to be full of shit, dude? Okay.
He's gonna ban him.
All right. Let me see if this is something.
Someone's gonna get banned right now. Watch. Somebody out here fucking with Asmongold. Yep, he's pulling him up.
I think that
I can't
you
wait
are
until I'm
a
on this level.
low IQ anti-Semite. I think that you just don't like Jews. And you're so dumb that any time that somebody says the Jew's bad, they named a Jew, you start seal clapping without thinking about it at all. Don't you find it problematic that somebody that seems to have built their entire career off of being misleading and defrauding people has suddenly decided to grow a conscience and run for government on the coincidentally super popular platform of hating Jews? Doesn't that bother you? I don't like Dan either, but at least he can talk against them. Against, you mean Israel or all of the Jews? I don't like Dan
Hey,
either.
Marty Ma, I love you so much.
You
Thank
mean
you for
all of
coming
them?
by. Thank you for subscribing.
Like,
Come
how
back
many?
any fucking time, please.
Let me see this.
You are absolutely welcome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Hope you have a great night.
Fuentes isn't a Jewish name, it's Israel. Okay, so at least he can talk against Israel. Well, I've spoken against Israel negatively, haven't I? Haven't I spoken negatively against Israel? Have I done that or not?
Yeah, see you next time. Thanks.
I mean, I'm just curious about this. Asmongold was promised to me, not historically accurately. What do you think that I didn't say that was historically accurate? Because you added a qualifier so you can still have your opinion. I think you're inconsistent. You go on this both sides. The reason, so I understand that, like, you know, to somebody like that, you think that I'm being inconsistent or I'm having both sides. But that's actually true. I do look at both sides to this. I absolutely do. Everyone was clowning on Blazarian after this. I don't know if you saw. No, let me pull this up and see. This chatter was promised his bed. But I do understand Twitch TOS. I think that I've been very outspoken about next week, it's time to have lawyers speak Elon Musk about the accounts and groypers in their name using this platform to target and harass politicians, voters, and everyday Americans with threats. AI porn of family members and harassing their friends and family members. This has been going on for almost a decade. He was banned on X for a reason. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're trying to get Nick banned? Wait, what? I don't even understand this. Is this crazy? Oh my God. Again? You know you can't talk about details on Twitch? Okay. All right, Bad Magic. Was it 6 million?
You're just waiting.
Let's find out.
Bad Magic Productions? Any connection? I'm wondering.
So glad you didn't fall for the psyop against the Jews. It's not about.
Is he a time
Jews,
sucker?
but yeah, of course not. Still,
Is this dude a time sucker? Bad Magic? Hey, welcome
How
in.
many?
One person. God bless. Hope you're having a good night.
Lies. Brother, you were already going to get banned, but now I have to ban you. I have to ban you. You know that, right? You know you have to get banned. You know this. Like, it's not even about this in general, but you can't go around calling everything you don't like Jewish. You can't do it. You remember, you have to use Zionist or Israeli. You can't give away the game, buddy. So, yeah, I guess so. Die by a sword? Yeah. Fuck. Oh, shit. Sorry, buddy. Gotta make a new account. And, yeah, submit a ban appeal. And, you know, go kiss the wall. Submit a ban appeal of a picture of yourself kissing the wall, and you're going to get unbanned, all right? So, I don't know what you expect. I'm the biggest Jew on
Bad
Twitch.
Magic's out.
So remember, you can't be critical against your masters.
What is that,
Sorry.
a time sucker?
I love how people say
Hey,
that.
2 people on here.
Meanwhile,
Welcome in, guys.
there's
Hope you guys are having a
constant
great night.
content that's negative about Israel every single day. There's people like Hassan constantly blames Israel for everything. He's one of the biggest streamers on the platform. I talk about Israel in a negative context regularly. I'm one of the biggest streamers on the platform. So, like, this whole idea that you can't criticize them, it's just not even true. Like, this is like, oh yeah, you can't criticize these people. 80,000 likes. I don't know about that one, guys. I think there's something wrong here. You know, like, what's this? Or if you're a politician, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. And let's be honest, they create problems. They create problems. There's a lot of people that create problems, okay? And so anyway, there were all these people. So this is why I'm very vindicated about this, right? is that I got so much hate for all these people because I called out Dan and I said, I think this guy's a bullshitter. Facts, Dan Blazarian has always been a LARP. Like he was running around like a jackass asking cops for their guns during the Las Vegas shooting. What? In a few shows, you'll have Nick telling his fans to go vote for the fat Jew, Randy Fine. Of course, right? Or if you're getting this guy came out as a Zionist. No, I don't even think that happened. Asmongold's house may be full of roaches, and his mouth may smell like Indian air, but he's spot on about scam Blazarian. Why would you agree with the Jew dick sucker Asmon? Dan objectively has nothing to gain and has only lost money for speaking out. He didn't lose any money for speaking out. Is this account compromised? It's insane that Big 2026, Asmongold and Steve Crowder are more loyal and honest than their so-called base Jewish question guys. That's the JQ. If you ever hear that, it's the Jewish question. It's the concept that basically I don't even love Asmongold, but totally vindicated. Y'all need to start listening. You need to start listening.
5 people in here. God bless. Hope you guys are having a great night. Rock with me. Let's learn. Catching up on YouTube. A lot of infighting.
For 15 years. I have been saying this.
Hit that sub. I love you forever.
The same shit for like 10 years. Like, really, what is this?
Hey, y'all want to see me open it? Come on, comment.
Play the dashboard.
Come on, I don't want to open it. Sealed.
I know.
Come on.
So many,
Get in here.
based
Come
personality
on.
on 4chan posts. Well, yeah, I mean, like.
Hey, 14 of you in here. Come on, get in here, guys. Subscribe. You guys want to see me open? Come on. It's sealed.
To be honest.
It's sealed
when
as
the
fuck.
Las Vegas shooting happened,
It's sealed as fuck. Come on, subscribe, guys. Hit that like. I love you guys. Hope you guys are having a good night. I wish you all health and happiness to you and your families.
There you go, guys.
God bless everybody in here.
I just want people to see this because it's one of many discusses interesting. Any attempt of a hostile takeover by Amy Dangerfield, some slut from Australia. I don't even know who this is. Dan holds triple citizenship, a Caribbean island. Father is some kind of Wall Street fugitive the SEC has been trying to collect $62 million judgment from, and for 40 years. Suddenly this Instagram pimp has arrived in the last year, having been, quote, red-pilled, and is actively mutinying against me while talking about killing Israelis and running a congressional campaign going nowhere. The whole thing stinks. It's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious. I don't know why people don't see this. I don't. It's so clear, and I don't get it.
I don't either, buddy. I don't either. Go. Oh, Purge Viral. This is my guy right here. This foreigner. I love this fucking foreigner. I like his insight. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to him, guys.
I think that
subscribe to me too. Help me out too. I love you guys forever.
Basically overstates what the Republicans are doing for us. And then I think they
Crowder's back.
Or overstate the risk of Democrats. This whole like they're going to pack the courts and make Puerto Rico a state. It's like, well, they didn't do that under Biden. I don't think they're going to do that this time. And if you believe that they did, why are we using the nuclear option? If you really thought Democrats were going to break precedent, pack the courts, make Puerto Rico a state, do this and that, okay, then it's life or death. We have to do everything possible. Then use the nuclear option, okay, and pass the SAVE Act. So that, you know, we could get all these Democrats off the voter rolls, and so that we could break the logjam on DHS and get them their money and do the deportations. But it's like, you know, Republicans will act like it's life or death, most important election, but then when it comes to nuclear option, they go, oh, we can't do that. Oh, well, we can't do the deportation. Oh, well, you know, this is the best we could do. And it's like, okay, so somebody's not telling the truth here. And I don't think it's you, but I think it's
I agree with you. There are Republicans who aren't telling the truth. I agree with you. And by the way, they need to be, like, for example, Thune, Cornyn, I mean, screw that guy with a wire brush, right? People like that. Yeah. But we know them by name. To throw them all into the same basket and just, it's a constant dismissal. Like, I don't really think that their deportations are enough. I don't really think we're a net negative migration country. I don't really think that 87% H-1Bs. I don't really think, just executive order 2 genders. I don't really care downsizing the federal government by hundreds of thousands. I don't really care that housing prices and rent prices are at multi-year lows. Those things don't matter because it's not enough when we know that the Democrats will obviously, and this is their plan. They didn't say they were going to make Puerto Rico a state and pack the court to 13 last time. They're saying that now. What they did say is that they were going to go a different direction in immigration, and we got, by our agreement, 10 to 20 million in 3.5 years. That is unsurvivable, and you're recommending that people take that risk based on then what else? Where do we go? So we vote Democrat, we take the risk, but we cut it off at the pass. And
But again, it's like you can say, well, that's not survivable. Well, we got 10 to 20 million illegals. Why? Because Republicans didn't build the wall, and now they're not going out because Republicans won't deport them. So it's like, if Democrats get in, they're going to end the world. That's why
hell no.
Republicans will like not do anything.
no, you're taking what Democrats did and blaming all Republicans. Most Republicans wanted the wall. We voted. Well, we can't because
Pardon me, guys. Sorry about that.
gridlock. And then you're saying vote for the Democrats who blocked the wall.
It's my weather
And
app.
all the
But in
Saying it's gonna
17,
storm
we had
out
the
here.
House, the Senate, the White House, the Supreme
Excuse me, I
Court.
lose my voice
Why
a
didn't they
little
use the nuclear option to just build the wall? It's because the Republicans don't really want to build a wall. They want the illegals to come here. And then when the Democrats get in, they can say, oh, shucks, the Democrats brought in all these illegals. And so we're going to deport them. Get us elected. Never mind. We only want to deport the violent criminals. Net negative migration is good enough. And it's like, that's the risk. The risk is that we play this game forever. I want to step outside of it, break the matrix. We got to run the Trump playbook from 16. Get somebody fresh in. To me, that's the risk.
I don't have a problem with getting someone fresh in. I don't have a problem with getting someone fresh in. As a matter of fact, here's the problem. I actually agree with you in principle on the premise of wanting to get someone fresh in. I don't probably have the disdain for Rubio and Vance. Between the two, I probably would choose Rubio because of...
Really?
Well, just because I agree with you that the threat of big tech and AI, and I think that's a very uncozy relationship that worries me, but I don't know. They're not ideal. But I still would pick them over a Kamala Harris or a Gavin Newsom. I don't think Gavin Newsom is a Chad. I think Gavin Newsom would be a disaster. I think Gretchen Whitmer would be the worst, but I think they've learned their lesson. They're not going to run abroad, hopefully. She would be the worst in the...
I totally agree with him on this one right here. The fucking going Democrat is just absolutely the wrong way. And I'm really excited to see what this foreign guy wants to say about it, because he's got some good insights as well.
It happened to this country.
Super
Gretchen Whitmer.
patriotic, I love him.
But look, I would like someone else.
Yeah, of course we need someone else. And by
Get
the
him.
way, can it even be worse than like Trump now? I think that's almost like
Shout out
impossible.
Purge
But I
Viral.
never
Subscribe to him,
understood,
guys.
How is it possible that we are such a big country? We have so many smart, intelligent people, but we always have to choose between like two lunatics. And that, are you kidding me? Like Rubio, we're gonna
See,
vote for
I agree
Rubio.
with
Okay,
him.
like Steven said, he's not my ideal option, but still, why would you vote for anyone who is like part of this clown administration? I think no one of this administration should even be allowed to like be
100%
elected
agree.
again, because look what they
Comment
did
down
in the
below.
past 2 years
What do you
already.
guys think?
This administration is like
subscribe
the
and open
worst
this
administration
bullshit right
ever.
here.
I think it's almost like even worse than like a Biden administration at this point. Like seriously. So no one should be allowed to even be elected of this clown administration. Not Rubio, not Vance, none of them. But I agree. We just need like a new person, like someone who is actually America first and who is not cosplaying, who is not like a puppet of his biggest donors.
Fuck yeah, I
we
agree.
just need like a normal person who actually cares about you, who actually cares about me, who cares about his country. Like, is that too much to ask for? It almost looks
Find
like it.
somebody that
That's
can't
such
be
a
bought?
shame.
That's
We
fucking
always have to
impossible.
choose between like two bad options. Like, why? How is it possible we have so many people in this country? and
Everybody that's in
somehow we always
politics
have to
can be
choose
bought.
between two puppets of like the Israel lobby? Why?
You go into politics
The
knowing
problem
that.
is, your plan guarantees the opposite, historically, without exception. I'm sure you're aware of this. In other words, you're asking people to take a risk. Well, you're aware of the moderate Republican paradox. This goes all the way back to Goldwater.
Which is...
So it's any time Republicans lose big, right? Democrats achieve power, especially when Republicans go further right and they lose big. Democrats attain power. The donor class, who you need to reckon with the donor class, right? As part of your prescription. They immediately go to the most moderate candidate who they think is winnable. So, for example, just using some like after Goldwater, they decided to go with the more moderate Nixon. What happened with Ford over Reagan? If you look at what happened after George Bush, McCain, and then you even look at examples like the Tea Party swinging further right, and then I'm going, oh my gosh, you know what? We need someone moderate to win the general. Mitt Romney. So what you're doing historically, with pretty much no exception, is guaranteeing the next John McCain or Mitt Romney.
I think you're missing one. I think you're missing a notable
Donald
exception
Trump?
to that. Yeah.
But Donald Trump was an outsider, was a Democrat his whole life, right? We have to agree it's an outlier. You're talking about operating within the binary. When Republicans lose big, Democrats are so bad, they go, okay, we can't live under this rule. Historically, they go, let's pick the most winnable candidate. So you're going to deal with those donors, hundreds of billions, potentially trillions of dollars, in 2028, with who? With what kind of funding and what kind of ground game? Because I also don't want Mitt Romney. For crying out loud, Mitt Romney.
Rubio. Rube, what's the, here's the thing, is like, if you're saying you're going for Rubio,
I didn't say I'm going for Rubio. I said
Okay,
if I
sorry.
had to pick between the two, because I really don't like the Palantir connection. I agree
Okay.
with you, is what I was saying.
but, okay, and fair enough. I don't want to mischaracterize your position. However, you must acknowledge the way it's looking, they're going to consolidate behind one or the other. And
I know there's nobody in the live right now, but for anybody that watches this video, they're not talking about Thomas Massey at all. Nobody's bringing up Thomas Massey at all. It's fucking ridiculous. He is the greatest fucking choice for a Republican president that I can think of. Vote Thomas
right now,
Massey.
it looks like Rubio is the donor choice. The Wall Street donors,
No.
the pro-Israel donors,
No.
they're taking informal survey. They want Rubio. And to me, it's like, okay, 10 years
Rubio's
after
bought and paid
Trump
for it.
defeated Rubio,
Yeah.
New American Century,
In my
Miriam
opinion.
Adelson's puppet, I think Trump literally said at AIPAC, or the Republican Jewish Coalition, he said, you want Rubio because he's your puppet and he'll do whatever you want because he takes your money. He's a Florida creature.
He also said Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK. Come on, we know what goes on with primaries with Trump. And one thing I do have to
that's
address,
true.
he's not an outlier. Republicans won in 2014 before Trump paved the way for him. That's what I'm saying. If they win, you can veer them further right. They also won in 2022. If they win, you can veer them right. That's what paved the way for Trump. So it actually proves the point. If Republicans lose, you guaranteed historically paved the way for a moderate Republican. It doesn't go the other way. So I'm asking you, and that's what I don't want. That's a big fear of mine, by the way. I don't like, I'm not all in on Rubio or Vance, but I would like to not see someone worse, to not see someone more moderate, to not see a Romney or McCain. That's what we'd be looking at if there's a big Democrat win. You just made my point with Trump, right? He was able to because of 2014 Republican. He probably wouldn't have been able to if you were looking at a Republican loss. It would have been like Goldwater. It would have been like McCain.
But you had a Democrat incumbent or a Democrat leaving office, which was Obama. Here's the dynamic, the way that I see it, is that Democrats win in 2026,
Okay.
and they're going to sabotage this administration because they're going to impeach Trump. They're going to investigate everybody, and they're going to find embezzlement, corruption. Like there's some problems in this administration, or at least there's a lot of smoke, let's say, around Howard Lutnick and some of the crypto stuff, and there's a lot that I would even like to see investigated. And
Hey, what the
so
fuck was that?
everybody
I
in the
saw a smiley
administration is
face.
going to be hurt
Nobody
by
in here.
this. Rubio and Vance included.
0 viewers.
That weakens them ahead of the primary. If they
Thanks,
are
Go Smile.
toxically associated to the administration, which
Hey,
is
one person's in here.
failing
Welcome
more
in.
under
God
Democrats,
bless.
then
Hope you
to
have a good
me,
night.
that provides an opening for somebody fresh from the outside that says, I'm sort of repudiating Trump's legacy, or maybe even I have some allegiance to Trump's original message in 2016. Maybe I'm going to save Trumpism from itself or where it went astray. That's kind of, I don't think we need to get into like Barry Goldwater. That's how I see it. If Trump is strong going into 28, then his people are strong. They have a better chance of winning the primary, and there's big consolidation. If they're weak, then people are going, oh, I don't know, Rubio and Vance are toxic. They're tied to Trump. They're unpopular. Maybe we need something else. So I think that's the dynamic. I mean, do you disagree, and why?
Okay, like I can understand where Nick is coming from, but to be honest, this is not the best way, right? Because also, like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Take a look at Trump, for example. Like, he won the last elections big time. He even won the popular vote, and he still didn't do anything. He was like a very strong candidate, and look how he betrayed us. So like, do you need more examples than like Trump himself already? And then you're gonna believe that if we're gonna weaker the GOP now, if we're gonna make them more weak, that then suddenly like Vance or like Rubio or like an outsider will be there who's like a really strong candidate and he's actually gonna solve all these kind of problems? No, it's all like, they're all like actors. They're almost like paid actors in my opinion. Seriously, and this is why I don't believe anymore in like the GOP and why I don't believe in the Democrat Party anymore, because it's just the same thing. It's just the same thing. I can say this over and over again, but people, they will never listen to me, because as long as you have these two parties, they're just like acting. They're always acting like we are different on this, we are different on this, we are different on this. So the people will be like, all right, I'm gonna vote for them because they're gonna make a real difference. And every time when they're like elected, they don't do anything anymore. They don't listen to these people anymore. So it's just like one big movie almost. I think we need like a third party. I'm so tired of like these two parties who are always cosplaying and acting like they are so different. Meanwhile, they're almost like exactly the same. They just give us, the people, they just make us feel that we have still an option to choose from, but at the end it will always be the same. It will never be America first. It will always be Israel first. It will never be a golden age for us. It will always be a golden age for almost everyone else in the world, no matter what party you vote for. So I really believe we need a third party, because the person is not going to make a difference. It's the party. The party is the problem. The political system is the problem. And always, this is exactly where it goes wrong. We're always hoping for like another person, that he is actually gonna help our country, that he's actually gonna make America great again. Look at Trump. Look at Trump, how he betrayed us. Everyone thought that he was going to be the guy who actually was going to do all these kind of things, and he did nothing. He did nothing. So it's not the people, it's the parties. They are the problems, and as long as we have the two same parties over and over again, we can play the same game, and it will never ever change anything. I hope you get the point I'm trying to make, but that's very important. It's not the people who are important, it's the party.
Well, if he's strong, wouldn't that suggest that the country's in a good place?
Yeah, I do. In a better place,
In a
certainly.
better place with Democrats.
Right. No. If Trump is strong,
We're saying if strong,
It
going
would-
to 28 after people vote Democrat.
no. If Trump is strong, if Democrats don't win big and they're not able to sabotage him,
I remember this.
Okay.
he'll be stronger than he would have been otherwise.
I got confused.
So
as
wait,
fuck.
are you saying he would be strong because people vote Democrat?
No, I'm saying he's stronger if Democrats don't win.
Right, the midterms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So how does that play into your plan? Forgive me, there could have been a timeline there where I was,
the same
where I
way.
was
I got so
confused.
confused.
I was assuming that we were going along with your plan and Democrats get voted in 2026.
Yeah, Democrats get voted in 26,
Mhm.
and they weaken Trump. Trump is weaker, and by association, everybody else is weaker. Rubio, Vance, because
Right.
again, they're going to dredge up all this stuff, and you're not going to be able to run from that because they're going to haul people before the House. They're going to impeach people. It's going to get ugly.
Sure.
And I want them to bring, because this administration's a failure. It's an utter betrayal. And I don't think I don't want to say you won't acknowledge. I think you disagree. But they promised mass deportations, and that's not happening. They promised no new wars, and we got a war with Iran. They stabbed us in the back.
So a
We
couple
got-
of things there, and I think
It's
this is
brutal.
important. We did get it. And if you want to predicate it on Democrat numbers that we don't have deportations or enough, but at least we have some versus mass importations. And I certainly would say if you look at the matter of record that even from left-leaning think tanks, institutes, that we are seeing record deportations. We have a net negative migration country. I never thought would happen in our lifetime. Nobody actually disputes that except for you. Okay, I don't think that's a betrayal.
That's not
I
nobody.
do think
not
a betrayal is saying that you don't care about immigration, which you said. And that's where I need to know, do these things matter? Do these things matter to you? Does
with
immigration
me?
matter? Yeah, does immigration actually matter? Because people who care about immigration certainly see this administration as the biggest wins of our lifetime ever, in
You're
contrast to
wrong
Biden.
about that. You're wrong about that, and I'll tell you
On
why.
immigration.
Because there are people in DHS. People in DHS that I talk to people in the administration. I'm sure you do as well. The morale is low.
I actually really don't. You're probably more welcome than I am.
Really?
Surprising
Yeah,
as
maybe.
it is.
Well,
You're
one of
more
Reuters-
congenial.
I'm a pretty congenial guy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm more friendly.
No, you're a good guy, Stephen. We get along, but
Yeah, we
in
do.
DHS,
Yeah,
the
both you guys are gonna turn
morale
around
is
and talk
super
shit about
low.
each other
They're
and
literally
immediately
going and
chop
telling
up this
people,
fucking interview like
It's
crazy.
because of sanctuary cities and people fucking kicking out their
on.
taillights and they're being hamstrung. Like you're sidestepping people creating sanctuary cities. The left will not deport violent felons in our prison system,
See,
Nick,
this
and you're
is
telling
That's
people
true.
to vote for them.
Hundred
They
percent.
can't
What I'm
just
saying,
sidestep it.
it's always these excuses like Republicans are going to give us deportations. Well, no, we can't because sanctuary cities and
I didn't
Congress
say that.
and-
They still are in spite of it. Donald Trump gave us an
They're not.
87% reduction, which you haven't took. You ran billboards. Give me this
Are we
one.
talking about H-1Bs or illegals right now?
Both. Because you
Oh,
said
we
last
gotta
time you were on the
focus
show.
on illegals.
Well, because last time on the show you said, well, who cares about illegal immigration? You accepted the premise because if they're replacing you legally, and you run billboards on that, and it's the single biggest strides that have ever been made in our lifetime. You're like, I don't know. That sounds to me
Steven,
like an excuse, Nick.
They said mass deportations, not net negative migration. They
Okay.
said mass deportations, largest deportation in
All right.
history. And by the way, there's people in DHS. They're reaching out to this mass deportations project, this mass deportation coalition, because Trump is holding it back. Trump has been convinced by Brooke Rollins that we can't deport people from farms. And he's being convinced by Wall Street that we can't deport a lot of people in general from the labor force because it's going to put upward pressure on prices. It's going to hurt the economy. So it's like, well, let's be honest. Trump is the problem. Trump is slowing down deportations. He doesn't want them. They're betraying us. They could do more. They're choosing not to. They walked it back 100 times in the past few months. They went to the Trump doral for their congressional retreat, and the deputy chief of staff said, don't say mass deportations, that's done. Susie Wiles and the rest of them said it's a course correction, we're shifting gears, we're changing the strategy, we're focusing on violent offenders, violent criminals. There's all this consternation in the White House saying, oh, Trump is being convinced to approve all these seasonal farm workers. He's being convinced not to do the deportations, only focus on criminals, which, by the way, that's kind of like what Biden was doing, picking people up at prisons that murdered people. That's been going on. That's an Obama policy, but go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Because we both, by the way, have a tendency to kind of, I think your brain works the same way I do, really.
Certainly.
And this bullshit, and this bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but it's in my personal life, too. I'll come home to my lady. I'm like, this bullshit. She'll be like, okay. It's kind of like the old man. Put him down, like, go, Ted, go grab a drink and calm down and play some games. So I wanted to deal with those kind of separately. I understand what you're saying. But you are making the same mistake that the left makes quite often. And what I mean by that is pointing to rhetoric as opposed to policy. So you say, okay, let's assume, although I just don't agree, there are no record deportations. There are in comparison to Obama, to Clinton, certainly to Biden. We certainly would have to agree on that because they counted border turnaways. But net negative migration. Okay, that doesn't matter. You're pointing to the rhetoric. Okay, H-1Bs, that doesn't matter because you're pointing to the rhetoric. You also have to look at other numbers, like, for example, the job growth under Biden entirely to foreign-born workers. These numbers also don't lie. Net negative for native-born Americans, and it has flipped precisely under Donald Trump. That is important for particularly young Americans who you have as an audience, right? We have a youth unemployment that I think we would both agree is directly affected by H-1Bs, cheap labor, illegal immigration. It's bad here. It's worse. Numbers also don't lie. Okay, Joe Biden, no Americans hired post-COVID. Only foreign-born workers. First year of Donald Trump, switch. Foreign-born workers, their jobs go down, job losses, growth for native-born Americans. That in combination does become undeniable in saying these aren't mild differences. This is a major difference. And rhetoric, you know, in having to deal with the media, well, we're going after violent criminals first. Tom Homan was on the show. I guess that would be one of the administration. He's someone we've had in the show a couple times. He said, well, of course, we're going after violent criminals, but what are we going to do if we run into someone who's not violent? We're going to deport them. They can't be here. That's our job. We're going to deport them, too. In other words, it gives them some leeway, and the numbers bear that out.
I don't even know if this is true, and I don't even believe this, to be honest. And by the way, isn't it like kind of ironic that you're Trump yourself, you're campaigning with like mass deportations, we're going to build the wall, but almost all
where
of
the fuck is the wall? We
built
keep
by
throwing money at
illegal
this wall.
aliens,
Where
by
the fuck is
illegal
that wall?
immigrants. The Trump Towers built by Mexicans.
What the fuck are we even
He
talking
wants to
about a
deport
wall
them,
for?
of course.
We're
Now, do
in
you
the
really
middle
think
of
that,
a
like, the biggest
fucking war.
donors that
This
they
is a
want to like, deport all
disaster.
these people? No, because then no one is going to work for their companies as well. So
Let me
it's
know
just so
what you-
stupid.
let me know
And,
what
like,
you guys
isn't
think
it
in the
kind of
comments.
weird that, like, ICE,
Subscribe
they
to
never
Viral
release
Loves, I'm
any
learning
like
from you.
numbers anymore. Like, why are they not releasing the numbers anymore of like how many people they deported? Because they don't even deport a lot of people. And Trump knows this. Trump is just, again, this shows you that he's just a liar because he's saying all these kind of things because the majority of the people who voted for Trump, who voted for the GOP, yeah, of course, they want to see mass deportations. They want the wall, but Trump
Hey,
doesn't
welcome
want
in.
this,
God
and
bless.
he's
Hope
just
you're having a great night.
cosplaying. He's just like acting again that he really thinks that this is also important, but he knows exactly what is going on. He knows that like ICE is not deporting any people at all, and he's okay with it. He's okay with it. And like, don't get me wrong, I also wish that many of these jobs went to like Americans instead of all these illegal immigrants who only come here to work. But it's a little bit unfair to hold them accountable because they're not even like the real problem. The real problem are like these big companies, and Trump knows them, even like Trump's own company. They're responsible for all these people coming in because they love the cheap labor. So it's so unfair that they're now saying, for example, Trump as well, America first, but at the same time his company like rather hires like cheap labor from like another country instead of like real Americans because they're too expensive. Like, do you see like how stupid is this? And that's what many of these big companies and all these companies, they give a lot of money to Trump, they give a lot of money to the GOP because they know they don't want to have mass deportations because then they have no one working for their companies anymore, and that's not something what they want. So they are cosplaying like Trump is saying, we want mass deportations, we're deporting a lot of people, but at the same time, he has a lot of powerful people like whispering in his ear, you should stop doing that, you should stop doing that. It has been enough now. That's literally how it goes. The people wanted to have mass deportations, but the biggest donors, they don't want this. And then I can tell you already, who is going to win this battle? It's not the people.
It's not even close, Nick.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, you can say it's better than Obama, but have we been fighting for 10 years for all of this? For like, well, we're deporting more people than Obama after they let in 20 million people. No, we voted for mass deportations. We're not even getting 1 million a year. ICE won't release the numbers because they're embarrassingly low. That's why we have to rely on like census data to extrapolate it and get, well, this 1 million people self-deported. You know, that's what they promised. And by the way, you're saying it's all rhetoric. Let's look at the policy. After they withdrew from Minneapolis, they said, we're done doing raids. They were doing these big operations in Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, where they surged thousands of CBP and ICE into the city. And what they would do is patrols. They would have ICE out on the street, basically looking for illegals, going door to door. What they've done since then is they put body cams on them. They stopped doing these big surges. They stopped doing the patrols and the big raids. And what they've effectively shifted over to, like in New York, for example, is they're only going to go to the prisons. If someone gets arrested for murder, they go to prison, they're not legal, then ICE picks them up. And that's really all that is happening right now. If you wanted mass deportations, what would that look like? Home Depots, farms, meat processing plants, the Hyundai facilities. But what happens when those places get raided? Trump gets a call. He gets a call from Wall Street. He gets a call from Hyundai. He gets a call from Brooke Rollins. And they say, stop deporting our farmers. Stop deporting our Hyundai employees. Stop deporting. And so Trump is effectively protecting our illegal immigrant workforce. They could deport them. They're choosing not to. The numbers could be higher. They could be doing raids. They stopped doing them. And they stopped doing them, they said, because of politics. We'll lose the midterms, you know, all this stuff. And I'm just saying, you know, it could be better. It really could be. They're choosing not to.
It could be better. Of course, it could always be better.
No, it could be much better.
Okay, let's say it could be much better. It's funny they use a meat processing plant because we saw the exact example in I believe it was Omaha, Nebraska, where then there were Americans lined up when a bunch of people had been raided and people.
And then they shut it down. Then they shut it down.
And this happens across
too.
So are you saying that there's an equivalency? In other words, it's not that big of a difference as far as immigration.
Yeah, I think it's not meaningful at all. No, okay. That's getting back to.
And what about what about H-1B? 87%. It's not 100. It's 87% of new ones. The place is that significant?
No, I don't think so. It needs to go entirely. There needs to be no H-1Bs.
Okay, so 87% reduction is nothing, so we'll go with the party that increases them by 200%.
They hit the cap. They hit the cap every year. And by the way, we're going to get more. I mean, Elon Musk and Little Tech are lobbying this administration, so.
So 87%. 99% border crossing reduction, not significant?
No, there's no wall. We did that in 2020, and then we got 10 million.
Yeah, we're building the wall now. Well, the wall was stopped again after the midterms, and you encourage people to sit out in the Senate.
How much wall did we fucking
What about 50? It's like over 50 miles? Is that what the wall's over 50 miles, and there's another 17 miles of secondary wall?
What the fuck is that?
2,000 miles.
Yeah, we built how many hundreds of miles in the first term, and how many times was it being gridlocked by the Democrats who you say people should vote for?
60 miles of new wall. There's
Bro, we built nothing.
50, 60 miles of new wall.
We keep throwing billions of dollars towards this fucking wall. Where's this fucking wall, man? Tell me in the comments if you guys agree with me. There's no fucking wall. Nobody wants a fucking wall here.
I'll take your word
Only the American people want a wall.
If it's 70, I mean, then you got a grand
total. Nobody in our government does.
Miles of new wall.
Okay.
5%.
And how many were built under Democrats? And how much of that was done when we had control versus Democrats?
That's crazy.
We need more. We need more. But the point is there will be no wall. Wait, we know this.
But there isn't a wall.
So let's vote for the party. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, you know you're right.
No. And I understand this, right? I guess we're dealing with, like, it's very clear to me that none of these are significant to you, right? Immigration. Because most people.
It is.
Most people, if you could, hold on a second. Most people, if you could tell them, look, this is what's going to happen. Okay? You're not going to get everything that you want. But you're going to get $1.3 trillion in cuts and proposed cuts. And you're going to have these, for the first time, entitlement reform. And you're going to have a net negative migration country for the first time since the 1970s. And you're going to have DEI out. You're actually going to have Supreme Court cases where affirmative action, you can't admit people in college based on race anymore. And by the way, Medicaid's not going to be paying to trans kids because we're going to have that Chevron case overturned. Okay, if you just told people net negative migration before the election, people would have taken that deal. And instead you're saying hand it over to the people who opened it up. So let's go back to that. I'm fine with it, with that risk. In other words, if you're telling me we can get much better. So the Nick Fuentes plan is we can get 100% deportations, right? Not 87% H-1Bs. We can get 100% H-1 done completely. Guarantee it. We can get Medicaid, not just a $900 billion. All of this, you can get it done because you're going to vote Democrat in 2026. And then I still need concrete.
Well, let's just reframe the deal a little bit, okay? Because here's the real deal: is Republicans say we're going to build a wall, and a wall. Trump said 30-foot concrete structure, 2,000 miles of wall. That was the proposal in January 2018. That's what we had in mind.
Sure.
Well, what you're really going to get is 130 miles of 18-foot steel bollard fencing with a 5-foot climbing plate after 10 years. Then they say mass deportations. We're going to deport 1 million people per year. They don't even release the numbers. According to the New York Times, they deported 230,000 last year. Maybe they arrested 300,000 more. Okay, that's not a mass deportation. You're not even making a dent. Hang on, in just those 10 years. Then you want to say, well, they cut $800 billion in Medicaid to pay for a permanent cut in the corporate tax rate, and they want a $1.5 trillion military for this year alone, and we have a war in Iran that's costing us $50, maybe $100 billion when all is said and done, not to mention the gas prices. So it's like, we're promised all these things. We never get them. And so you're right, it's a huge risk, but I'm saying I'm not going Democrat. I'm not going center-right. I'm voting no on both of those. And yeah, I'm hoping that we can open up a space where someone far-right can fill it. And you're right, it's a huge risk. You're right, it's totally uncertain. But I think the real risk, again, is these half measures. I think unless we have radical reform, it's either we're getting our head cut off or we're getting cut in half. I'm voting for maybe there'll be some option where we don't get totally destroyed. And that's all I'm interested in. That's all I care about. You want to cut around the edges on immigration. It's not going to meaningfully change the demographics of the country. How many illegals are here? 40, 50 million? You want to say, well, we deported 1 million. It's like, okay, cool. We're still in this immigrant nation. So.
Yeah, no, well, first off, I'm familiar with that New York Times article. They said 500,000, and that's not including self-deportations, which is the vast majority. And I get that you say, I don't count it. I don't count self-deportations. I don't believe in
arrests and removals. So yeah, 500,000 is arrests and removals.
I don't believe in self-deportations. Okay.
Okay, but the moral of the story in this case is just people there are so tired of the GOP always betraying their own voters. They promise you exactly mass deportation. That's one thing where they talked about. It's very important as well. Many people voted for this, but also don't forget about, for example, the Epstein files. Don't forget about exactly what is going on now with they campaigned with no more wars, and we are now in a war. So I can understand where Nick is coming from. Why would you vote for a party who is doing these kind of things, who is not even doing only things what you don't want? They're also they're completely doing the opposite is what you voted
I agree
for.
with you, brother.
So why would you still give these people your vote? They're not entitled to your vote. So if you want to make a statement, yeah, you should not vote for them. But I can also understand a little bit where Steven is coming from. It also doesn't make any sense to me that Nick is then saying, all right, we have to vote Democrat, because then Nick is always again, Nick's words. Nick is always saying the Democrats are our enemy. They want to destroy us, things like that. That's always what he's saying. So why would you vote for your own downfall? That's also something what I don't understand. Then it's maybe just better to not vote. But I get it. I'm also so tired of the GOP. Almost everyone I've spoken with, they're tired with the GOP. But then I come back to the point what I made earlier in this video. Then the problem is not even the two parties, right? The Democrat Party and the GOP. It's this whole political system. Because if the Democrats are not good for us, if the Republicans are not good for us, then we don't have any option at all, right? It almost feels like why would you still vote? And why would you still vote? And it looks like you don't even they give you a vote, but you cannot do anything with your vote. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And for this reason, I really believe we need a third party. We need a third party. It's crazy that we always have to choose between 50% and 50%, only two parties. Because what if two parties, they are doing something what you don't like? Then you have no one to vote for. And that's actually so many people there now at this point. They don't want to vote for the GOP, but they also don't want to vote for the Democrats. So yeah, they would just choose for someone who is less worse, but then still they choose for a party who is not good at all at the end of the day. So that's so confusing. And yeah, I think again, the political system has to change, because otherwise we can complain over and over again. It's not gonna change anything. But yeah, I can understand both where they were coming from. Very interesting, interview, debate, podcast, however you want to call this. And yeah, that's just it. I'm very curious about your
That's
opinion.
it for me tonight, guys.
What side are you on? Do you agree with Steven? Do you think it's stupid if you're gonna vote for the Democrats to
Yeah,
make
let
a
me know
statement?
too. I'm curious.
Or do you agree with Nick Fuentes?
Hit me with a
because,
subscribe. I
to,
will love you guys
GOP, to,
forever.
make them feel
Rock
what
with
it
me on
is
my
in the past
journey
2
to
years. It's not okay, you have to vote for the
whatever.
Democrats. What side are you
Subscribe
on? What
to
side are
Purge
you
Viral.
on?
He's
Do you
fucking
agree with
awesome.
Steven? Do you agree with Nick? I'm very, very curious about your opinion. Very important to say. I read all comments. I even try to reply to some of your comments.
do the
so
same
please
exact thing.
let me know. As well, guys, if you like this video,
God bless
please
you,
hit the
Purge
like button. I
Viral.
would really appreciate it. If you really like these kind
God
of
bless
videos,
everybody that
consider
watches. Love
subscribing.
you
I
guys.
would appreciate it even more. And then you make